Good morning. I want to give this little testimony about what just happened to me a few days ago. Um, Matter of fact, it was last Thursday. My daughter had came to visit me and the kids, and on her way back, I had to drive her across the bridge in order for her to get to the airport. Now, when I first began to drive in the 90s, I was scared to go over bridges. And as I repeated, God has not given me the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and of sound mind. As I drove over the bridges, the spirit of fear had begun to leave me in the 90s. And it would come back every now and then. Then I had moved to Virginia for about 7 years, and I would go back and forth across the bridge, to get from Virginia back to New Jersey. And that spirit of fear had not returned to me. So I really thought that the spirit of fear was completely gone. So the spirit of fear, when I went to go work in Delaware at LabCorp a few years back, and I was kind of overworked. I had a lot of hours, and then I had to drive the traffic to work and the traffic from work, and I had to drive over the bridge in the rain, sleet, snow, whatever. I was nervous, so I would pray, and it would get me back and forth to work. And finally, I put in my 2-week notice for different reasons. And when I put in my 2-week notice, before I had put in my 2-week notice, I was having anxiety attacks as I got in the middle of the bridge. I couldn't breathe, and I felt like I was going to go over the bridge, and it just was different things that I was going through going over the bridge, which was another reason that I put in my resignation. And so it didn't happen every time I went. It was just maybe once every 2 weeks or so often. Then after I got off the bridge, it would leave me. That spirit would leave me. But I felt it coming on me as I was getting closer and closer to go over it, especially after work hours. Not so much on the way to work, but more so after work. So now I'm back to the story where I was taking my daughter across the bridge. I pulled over right before I go to the bridge, and I asked her to drive over the bridge. She drove me over the bridge. So as we got to the airport and everything there, she got out and we said our goodbyes and, I see you laters or whatever, have you hugs and kisses and all. So, I sat there for a minute to get myself together to drive over the bridge. So as I was on the highway, I was okay. And the closer I got to the bridge, I could feel that spirit coming back on me again. So I pulls over on the shoulder of the road, which gave me enough time and enough space to pull over. There was no cars around me, and I had enough shoulder space where they can go around and not shake my car and all that stuff, because it was a pretty big amount of space between the road and the shoulder. So I'm sitting there and I'm sweating and I'm out of breath and I'm shaking and all the above, and I'm saying God is not giving me the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. And it wasn't working. And I asked my husband and my grandson to pray over me, and they prayed earnestly. My grandson laid his hands on my head and he prayed. And this is the grandson that when you're sick and different ones, that he can lay hands on you and the healing comes over your body. And he's done it to